Il tuo bacio è come un rock che ti morde col suo swing. Sai facile al knockout che ti fulmina sul ring. Fa l'effetto di uno shock e perciò canto così. Il tuo bacio è come un rock, i tuoi baci non sono semplici baci.
Buongiorno bambini, come state? E un buongiorno grande anche da Luna. Say ciao bambini. Welcome to Mr. Torcasio's Art Bites. Today we're going to talk about form. Very interesting form. Just take a moment to look at this mark. It's a flat shape. We can measure the sides, we can measure the height, but it is still a flat shape. Now look at this box. It's got a top, it's got a bottom, and it's got sides that you can touch. It's deep and it's thick. And a shape like this, a deep, thick shape, we call a form. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Often we find forms in nature, plants and animals especially. Look at Miss Luna. She's got all sorts of shapes on her. Her little leg looks a bit like a cylinder or a tube. Her nose looks a bit like a cone. And look at her body. So curved and round. A little bit too curved and round. Look around your house for different types of forms that you can see. And I want you to notice how they're made up of lots of different parts. Once you've done that, we're going to talk a little bit more about forms. I'll see you in a second. Often we make forms when we create art. And we can use all different types of materials to make those forms, like clay and wood and stone and metal, but also things that we find every day like paper and cardboard and things from around the house. When we make these forms in art, they're called sculptures. A bit like this guy here, Rodin's The Thinker. Sculptures can be made up of lots of different shapes, made up of different sizes. Sometimes they're huge, sometimes they're small. Shall we look at some other sculptures? This is Michelangelo's sculpture called La Pietà. It's one of Mr. Torcasio's favourite artworks. It's made out of stone and it was made thousands of years ago. The way that Michelangelo has sculpted the face of the woman in the sculpture really makes you feel something. Here's a sculpture that everybody knows. Do you recognize this lady? Her name is Liberty. Look at how strong she is. Look at her face. Huge. A very big sculpture. Sometimes sculptures have been around for a really long time. Like this one right here. What can you tell about this person because of the colours of the sculpture and because of the way that her face is? You can definitely tell that she's a very strong person. Often sculptures tell us a lot about feelings and emotions just from the way that they're shaped. Sculptures can be made out of all sorts of different materials. Check out this guy. He's made out of glass. And being made out of glass allows for the sculpture to have a really particular texture. Look at how shiny and glossy it is. That in itself gives the sculpture a certain feeling. Here's an interesting sculpture. What do you think it's made out of? Why do you think the artist made the horse's body so round? Think about that. Il tuo bacio è come un rock che ti that make you think. Sometimes sculptures are a little bit peculiar and we can't really easily tell what they might be about. Here's an interesting sculpture. This sculpture was made out of gold, and actually the artist put it in the sand on a beach just where the waves come crashing in. What a strange place to put a sculpture. I wonder why he put it there. Here's an even stranger sculpture. What do you think this sculpture's supposed to be? Does it remind you of anything? What does this sculpture make you think about?
I tuoi baci non son semplici baci, uno solo ne vale almeno tre.
Luna and I would like to leave you with a little challenge. We'd like you to collect some things around the house that you can use. Things like toilet paper rolls or boxes, and things like foil. Maybe ask mum or dad or a grown up at home if you can have some spare old buttons. But have a look around the backyard, around the house, look for things that you can find. And your challenge is to make an ISO family of robots. So I'm going to make a robot of myself, my little Luna, and my partner Tony. And I want you to do the same. And I'm going to leave you with some images to inspire you to create form and sculpture and something that you can touch and feel. Bambini, be safe, take care of each other and yourselves. And from Luna and Signor Torcasio, arrivederci, ci vediamo. Ciao.
I tuoi baci non son semplici baci, uno solo ne vale almeno tre. E per questo bambina tu mi piaci, e dico baciami così, il tuo bacio è come